Good morning.
Good morning.
As you can see in the program, the name of the talk is The Five Great Truths, okay, maybe six, okay? And it's based on a paragraph in a book that I read back in 2006, written by the Dalai Lama, okay? And the sixth one actually just came to me like just a couple weeks ago. So at the end, this is going to be slightly participatory, okay? So at the end, we're going to vote on the sixth one, okay? So we're going to, I think, one-up the Dalai Lama, okay? And but beyond that, I'd like it to be a little bit more participatory than that. So a couple times during the talk, I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to say, get it, and you're going to say, got it, and I'm going to say, good. Okay? Let's practice one time. Get it?
Got it.
Good. That's just pretty good. Doing a good job. So let's take a look at those five things that the Dalai Lama talked about. He filtered out all the differences and came up with the five similarities of love, compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, and self-discipline. Okay? And when I read that, a paragraph, I put the book down. And I said to myself, if those are all the commonalities, then maybe those are the five great truths. Okay? And maybe, if we practice those five things only on a daily basis, that we could transform who we are as human beings. Okay? Only five things. That's not a lot. You know, the one thing that a lot of people do is make spirituality complicated. Okay? And it's not, like, really. Okay? A friend of mine got up and said one day, the KISS-like principle. Okay? Keep it simple and spiritual. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Okay? So then a couple years later, then I read a book on Kabbalah. And Kabbalah said, if you do a righteous act when you don't want to, you let more light into the world. Okay? So I combined doing those five things on a daily basis, okay, with that one. Okay? And I did it as a game. Okay? Okay, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. Oh, but I'm letting more light into the world. So instead of feeling bad that I didn't want to do it, then that could make me feel better because I was letting more light into the world. Okay? Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Good. Okay. So let's take a look at the first one, love. Love. When I was in high school, there's basically three forms of love: the eros, the phileo, and the agape. Okay, we're going to talk about the agape today. When I was in high school, my mother made my sister bring me to youth fellowship group. I didn't want to go. Okay, and I said, okay, if I got to go, maybe I'll meet some girls. Okay, so. A lot of guys can relate to that one, sure. And so I went there, and the associate minister was a young guy, 28 years old, and he stuttered. And I resonated with that because I stuttered too. And so we had a Sunday night meeting, and then we had a Thursday night group that was called the Thursday Night Thing. That's where a group of us got together and shared and that's where we learned about the agape form of love. And I'll never forget when I first heard that. When I was younger, the whole thing about church didn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay? Jesus story, come on, really? But that one made sense to me. Agape form of love, yeah, I could buy that. Okay, the love that you feel for your fellow human beings, which I've come to learn is really God's love. Okay? And so that was a meaningful group for me. That group set the course for my life. If it wasn't for that group, I would never have gotten into counseling, okay? And I still am in contact with a bunch of them. Most important group in my life up to this point, okay? Guys, guess what? We have the same thing here. Okay? You only get this kind of situation once, maybe twice in your life if you're lucky. Okay? Don't take it lightly, don't take it casually, because this don't come around very often at all. Okay? Get it?
Got it.
Good. Compassion. What is real compassion? Okay? We as human beings have really done a pretty good job at that. Okay? But what is real compassion? Is real compassion giving a homeless guy $1? Okay? Is real compassion giving a homeless person a cigarette? Okay? It's compassion. Okay? But is it real compassion? Or is real compassion going up to that same homeless guy and asking him, so how you doing? What is your name? What's your story? You know? Anybody can give a cigarette. Anybody can give $1. That's easy. Okay? But going up and hearing their story is a different matter. What I've come to learn is by doing that, you're showing to that person that you really care. And I've had a couple examples where that made a difference. Didn't it cost me anything? A cigarette, big deal. Okay? When I kept in contact with them, yeah, their life got better. Okay? All these people really care about is they want the $1. What they really need is to carry. Okay? Get it?
Got it.
Good. Tolerance. Call tolerance the little elephant in the room. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty big elephant. Okay? But compared to the big elephant, it's not so big. Okay? Tolerance, acceptance of other people. Okay? Always amazed me, when you went into a group, that everybody would go to people who were like them. Okay? Right off the bat. And they'd stay in that little group. Why? Okay? You could see your friends any day of the week. Okay? But don't you want to meet other people? Talk to other people? Find what other people are all about? Really? Okay? It always amazed me that people would do that. With white, black, go to family reunions or whatever. So not me. I was always curious. I said, I want to see what those people are all about. Maybe they're nice, Maybe they have something interesting to say. And maybe, I could be friendly or friends with them. And by doing that, I met a lot of people, people that know me know I like to talk, And so, but I got to be good friends with a bunch of people that were different. What did that mean? It mean that you learn about other cultures. Okay, you learn about other people. You learn about different situations. You learn about things that are different than what your experience was. So that gives you a lifetime of information that you can use moving forward. Okay? So I would recommend it. Do you have to do it? No. You don't have to do anything, really. Okay? But trust me when I say that you'll have more wonderful experience, gain the knowledge and the acceptance of other people a lot greater. Okay? Get it?
Got it.
Good. Self-discipline. We all have self-discipline when it comes to going to work. We all have self-discipline when it comes to taking care of our kids. We all have self-discipline to do the things that we feel that we have to do. Okay? My question to everybody in the room here is, do we have enough self-discipline? And the word enough. Do we have enough self-discipline with our spiritual practices? Okay? And that's the question I pose to you today. That I don't want an answer. That's an answer that you come up with yourself. Whatever spiritual practices you use really doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter at all. For some, it's playing golf on the golf course. That used to be mine. Okay? Could be taking a walk. Okay? Could be this, that, or the other. It's your communion with yourself or with what you call a higher power, no matter what label that you put on that. Okay? So the question I pose to you is, do we have enough self-discipline in those practices, because what I've come to learn is that it's very, very important to do those things. I do mine at the beginning of the day, okay? An hour and a half, that's a lot, okay? But you talk to a lot of people, say, well, I don't have the time. Really? You don't have the time? You don't. This is like one of the most important things you could ever do, is take that time. You know, what else you got to do? What are you, curing cancer? Really? So do we have enough self-discipline? Okay, now, the big elephant in the room, forgiveness. We as human beings have not done a very good job in that regard. Okay? Jesus said it in the Lord's Prayer. Talked a lot about it. For good reason. Because we really don't know how to do it that good. We say that we forgive, but do we really? If you feel that pit in your stomach when you think about that person, no, there's still that emotional charge there. Okay? That's not true forgiveness. That's intellectual forgiveness. Okay? That's all that is. Okay? But do you truly forgive? A number of years ago, what came into my mind was this. And I'm just going to warn you now, there's going to be an ego alert in your mind. It could go a little wonkers, okay? Just an alert, okay? Everything happens in the way that it's supposed to. Everything happens in the way that it's supposed to. Everyone that did what they did in the way that they did it was supposed to do it in the way that they did. Okay? Ponder that one a little bit. Okay? So that came into my mind. I said, well, that's interesting. Everything is happening the way it's supposed to, really? Okay? And then I went back to the people in my life who I had the biggest problem with. Okay? And I used that as the filter. Everything happens the way that it's supposed to. My father. Never liked my father. I was named after him. Thought he duped my mother. Okay? And took a country girl from the farm, protected, married, brought her to Philadelphia. Never told her he was an alcoholic. 2 months into the marriage, he went on a 2-week drinking binge. A country girl on the farm. Boom. Imagine. So everything happens the way that it's supposed to. So what came into my mind after that was all the good things that happened after the fact. One, I would not be here, okay, if he didn't meet my mother. Secondly, I would not have had, all my family lives up in Myerstown, in this one-horse town. Nobody leaves there. My mother was the only one that left there, okay? I would never have been brought up in and around a big city having the various experiences that I've had, like since then, okay? And so everything happens the way that it's supposed to. Oh, maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all, okay? Did it with my mother. So angry with her when she married my stepfather, okay? She was more Masterpiece Theater, he was Dukes of Hazzard. True. And that house was as dysfunctional as it gets. Those people, he moved his mother in, she was the most evil person I've ever met. She disliked my mother, disliked my sister. She liked boys, so she kind of liked me, but I'm looking at this and saying, you guys are flipping crazy. Okay? If you think that I want to be like you, you are nuts. Okay? So I spent very little time in that house. Okay? Had my bicycle. Just rode anywhere, everywhere I could. And had adventures of a lifetime. Okay? Went to West End Gun Club every day. You know? Youth fella, anything that I could do to get out of that house. Met Ted. Ted and I became great friends. His mother became my surrogate mother. I've had surrogate mothers my entire life because they acted like they liked me better than my mom. Why would I want to be a person that didn't seem like she liked me that much? You know, these other people like me a lot. They would talk to me and do all sorts of things. So if it wasn't for my mom marrying my stepfather, guess what? I never would have had those experiences at all. Everything happens in the way that it's supposed to. Okay? You can do something called, let me do this one, the hardest one. Hardest one for me. 2 years ago. Things went out of control. Ended up being hospitalized in 2 different psychiatric hospitals for severe depression and anxiety. How did it come to that? Really? How did it come to that? Woke up in the hospital in the middle of the night the first night. I said, oh, at least I'm safe. Woke up in the morning and said, what the hell did you do, Dave? Like, really? 6 worst weeks of my life. Why? And I already learned everything happens the way it's supposed to. Like, why this? Really, why this? To get visits from the people that you know and love at that time was hard. Why? So I filtered that out. Took a while. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. Okay, I'm supposed to be in Jersey. Okay. I don't know why I'm supposed to be in Jersey. Okay. Supposed to work at Bed Bath & Beyond. Fine. Okay. Making $9.30 an hour. Oh, that's great. Okay. But there's a reason why I was there too. But maybe this is the big one. I can talk real intelligently now about the mental health situation in this country. Okay? One bad experience, one very good one. Other reason. I have so much compassion for people that are going through that. That I almost cry. Everything happens in the way that it's supposed to. Use that as your filter. Go back to the people in your life who have given you the hardest time. They, my friends, are your best teachers. Okay? They weren't your worst enemies. Okay? Filter that out and say that, and I bet you what pops up, what comes into your mind, all the good things that happen after the fact because of that. Okay? Do yourself a favor. Get it?
Got it.
Good. Gratitude. That's the 6th one. Bill and I were sitting outside about 2 months ago, right? And I still had some anxiety like some days. And in his inimitable way, sat down. He said, well, why don't you just add, like, I'm grateful and instead of just I'm thankful at the beginning of your day. I said, okay. So I did it. And guess what? That's when I started really to feel better. Okay? Every day in the morning, every day. Okay? To the point it really started to take off then. Okay? I said, well, maybe this is a big deal. This gratefulness stuff. Okay? So I talked to a friend earlier in the week. In fact, it was Linda Spock. Okay? We had a discussion about this. She said, gratitude is a feeling. Okay? Gratitude is a feeling. And there's actually a 2-step like process with this. That you can't really feel grateful unless you appreciate. Okay? That the appreciation is the intellectual part of this. It's like the mental part. I appreciate my situation. I appreciate that. I appreciate, you know? Because if you don't do that, I don't think that the feeling comes after the fact. Okay, just a thought, you know? Do I actually know about it? No, I don't actually know about that. But I know this, that gratitude is a feeling. Okay? Gratitude is a feeling. Now, love, on the other hand, it's a feeling. But love is more about doing than it is about feeling. Love is much more about doing. Because you can feel if you want to till the cows come home. But if you don't do, the rest of that feeling is bull. Okay? Excuse the language. Okay? So gratitude is a feeling. It's an expression of appreciation. So the Dalai Lama came up with 5. Are we going to vote on the 6th one? All those that say nay, nay. All that say yay, yay.
Yay!
Okay? Okay, well, Dalai Lama's coming October. I have to tell him. So, in closing, okay? I went to Ponzio's diner a couple weekends ago. And I went out to get cigarettes. For those of you that want me to stop, forget it for the time being. And because I have too many good experiences and too many stories about it. And I passed these 2 guys. And the one guy's name is Mark Cohen. He said, "Why are you so happy?" And so I sat down and talked a little bit. And he told me a little bit about him. He's having problems with his daughter and all that. So we talked about it. And I helped him a little bit with that. And then I told him that I was in a psychiatric hospital 2 years ago. And he said, "How did you do it, Dave? How did you do it?" He said, "How did you do what? How did I do what?" He said, "Get from where you were then to now." And so I gave him the intellectual one about, that the nurses said 75% is your part, the drugs are 25%, and all that. And I did the work that I needed to do in order to get to this point, But in reality, okay, we all hear that still small voice, okay, from time to time. A lot of us like to deny what that voice is. And that's okay, that's up to you, whatever label you want to put on it, but we all hear it from time to time. Okay? So what got me through this was the still small voice that I would hear faintly at times. It said, "Dave, have a little bit of courage. Okay? Have a little bit of persistence. Have burning desire to get better. But most of all," the voice said, "have little faith in me." Ja.